Hi everyone. So real fast, I want you guys to see what's going on with this candle. Okay, so we have two flames going. This candle, all of a sudden, the bottom, there's like a hidden wick that appeared out of this candle, and that's the one that's burning. That's the one that's causing the wax to melt. So this is very important for our reading. Let's see, channel members, you will have a collective message posted later tonight, so definitely check that out. If you're interested in channel memberships, that link will be in the description box below. If you are interested in classes, the first round of classes are up for March. That's also in the description box. Okay, so I just want to get right into this. I do have a guide of collectives that are stepping through. This is like my second time trying to record this reading, because the first time, about a minute in, that's when this happened. And this has been a very fast process that's taking place here. There's this message that's coming through from the spirit guides that you actually have a lot of blessings that are surrounding you that aren't able to come in. They're here, they're now, but they can't actually appear to you. They can't actually manifest in your life. They can't join up with your reality. You can't be aware of them, all of those things, because there's a hidden source of energy inside of you that is actually controlling things. It's not what we want, which is this top wick, right? That wick burned out. And so you may feel like good things aren't possible for you. You may feel like, oh, this thing's never going to come. We are falling for the illusion that's being caused. It's being created by this other energy that's vibrating inside of us. So here what we have, the first card that I had out when I was pulling these cards as that was happening, was the Warrior. And the Warrior is telling me, I'm going to read these a little bit different than they are meant inside the book for those of you who have this deck. What the Warrior is telling me right now is that whoever this message is for, you seem to be in a type of survival mode in some sense, whether it's actually surviving for your finances or your security, or if it's this energy of needing to keep people away, right? Sometimes when we are trying to call in, for example, soul tribe, or some of you may even be trying to call in love, when we have that type of energy where we're looking for the next devil in the room, do you know what I mean? We're actually closed off and we're not allowing things to come in. Someone here, the heart space and the solar plexus space are being bogged down by other things, whether it's trying to control situations rather than accepting things as they are and allowing them to be in your life and to leave your life, and allowing yourself to come and go depending on whether you align with that or not, or if it's trying to hold things away, right? There's something here that's bogging down those energy centers. And what this is doing is this is making us ultra aware here with the Waker. This is awareness and reflection. The interesting thing about the Waker is that it's consumed by the external and what's happening in the external and external circumstances, but it doesn't have the eye turned inside, right? This doesn't mean that we don't know ourselves. It doesn't mean that we're not self-aware. It means that whoever this message is for, you may not be aware of how much your own worries, anxieties, this energy is actually affecting your life and the situations that are permitted and able to align with you, right? Because it's not just that situations have to align with us. We have to align with situations too, right? The things that we want, the blessings that we would like to receive. Here we have the Painter, productivity and creation. For some of you, this comes down to working too much. It may even be that there's creative energies inside of you that are waiting to be expressed. They need to be expressed. Because of the survival, it almost feels that we're not allowing the soul or authenticity to be able to express itself, right? That's one of the functions that our authenticity is able to be shared, is through our expression. And so this is something here that someone may need to look at, is the way that we express those things, the things that we're creating. I do want to say that it's not all about creativity. This really is about that creative force within us. Someone's creative force here is being hijacked by some sort of negativity, some sort of lower vibration, like worry, anxiety, disbelief even can be a very low vibration. And this is causing low vibrational situations to align with us and us to align to them. And so this is about not only paying attention to your surroundings and being on guard, it's being on guard with things that are going on inside of yourself as well. There's a need to shield ourselves from ourselves in some way, and to not reject those things, but to understand that they're there, that they serve a purpose. Maybe it's to keep ourselves safe. Maybe it's so that we don't have to be disappointed. Maybe it's so that we don't have to fail, right? And to understand that in the long run, those energies and those subconscious drivers aren't necessarily going to help us live the life that we want, right? It's not a fulfilling way to live. And so we have to allow ourselves the freedom and the space to let those energies go. Okay, let's see. I'm being told to give symbols. If you're newer, I haven't done this in the last few weeks, but I am being shown symbols. If the symbols don't resonate with you, it doesn't mean that it's not your message. It just means that the people who the symbols resonate for pay extra attention. So the first symbol that I'm seeing is a red poppy. The second symbol that I'm seeing is a blue ribbon. It's like a pin that somebody has. Okay. The third symbol that I'm seeing is it's a very important sort of candlestick. I don't know why it's important for somebody, but it seems copper. It looks old. It's like a vintage candle holder. Okay. The next symbol that they're showing me is a white peony, and it almost feels like this is a plant that was passed down some way. Heavy energy of inheritance. Okay, that's being flagged, so that's important. The next symbol that's showing up for me is it's some sort of like oil vial. It's like an amber oil bottle. Okay, and they're saying the last symbol. So the last symbol is some sort of like fan, a fan. Okay. Now, the reason why inheritance is being flagged right now, I'm being shown that this is an energy that actually, we inherit this energy. This is how society kind of grooms us to be. Like, this is normal, right? But it's more than that. We watched people in our family quite possibly worry and struggle over the same type of issues. And so this sort of worry and this sort of struggle is something that we observed. The waker has observed this from a very early age, and so we're carrying forward that energy. And so this is something that's being asked to be healed at this time. It's understanding that our vibration is within our control. A lot of times we go through our life, right, and we think that it's beyond our control, that our emotions and our vibration are not in our control. There's tools that we can use to control those things, between journaling, right, and writing things out, and then writing the actuality of what's really happening. Starting to learn to cultivate ourselves away from emotional thinking into logical thinking. And that doesn't mean that you lose the ability to feel, right? You can be a very logical person and still be very in tune with your feeling states. In fact, it's when you do those two things together that the magic happens. And there's different tools that we can use and that we can utilize in order to take control of our feeling states. Someone here, you're being brought through a lesson. Okay, so this is transforming into the Wheel of Fortune for me right now. You're being brought into a life lesson on how to control those feeling states in order to create the situations and the life that you want. I'm seeing a mantra in my head. This is a mantra that I used a few years back. It was, I choose to feel the vibration that I wish to attract. So that might be important for somebody here. Okay, first card. We have the Devil. And so this vibration state, whether it's worrying all the time or overthinking all the time or just negating positive things that comes towards us all the time. Like I said, it's going to be different for everybody. This is something that is our karmic lesson. This is our karma in this life. This may be one of the biggest life lessons that we actually have. I do want to explain something. Here in the West, what we say when we talk about karma is we usually talk about karma in terms of that being between us and other people. And this is really a lay person's understanding of karma. In the East, we'll hear it this way too, but it's typically understood that this is how lay people speak about it. When you get into esoteric circles of the East, one of the things that is understood about karma is that karma is actually about the self. It's our relationship to ourself, because our relationship to ourself is projected into our external world through our relationships with others. And so it's really about this energy that we have going on inside of ourselves. This is what's taking place here. This is an internal karma. Really what's happening here is that somebody is learning how to unchain themselves from these emotional states and how to step into a place of higher vibration, of more aligned frequency, how to be present within themselves and how to be centered. And this is a very long process. This is kind of like when we want to purify metal, right? It's a very long process of extreme temperatures. this is what's happening here. There's a lot of lessons that we've been brought through, and it's all bringing us to this fine culmination where the waker understands that sometimes having that eye open to the external world can be a hindrance, and they're learning to close that eye in order to look within and to identify the source of certain things inside themselves. Someone here, I am being very much I'm being given a very specific energy here that someone here might want to practice gratitude a little bit more. This is something that will move you into a better energy here with the Six of Swords. And so, it can be very beneficial when we're really trying to work through our feeling states to make it a habit, morning and night, to set aside 5 minutes to just write out the things that you're grateful for. And you could just use the same list over and over, but to get yourself inside the energy of truly feeling grateful for things. It's amazing how once you start doing that, the things that go wrong, they don't seem to take center stage anymore. If you really pay attention to the people around you, you may notice that as people, one of the things that we do is we hyper focus on all the bad things, and then the good things happen, and it's like we celebrate them for like a second and then it's over. But the bad things, we carry them with us and we let them linger for years, right? So this is kind of shifting that mechanism so that it's the good things that we carry with us forever, and it's the bad things that we only let them last for like a second. Right? When we can do that, we're shifting our feeling state. We're changing our vibration. Okay, I just got like an entire thing from this one particular guide just now. So for some of you, I'm just going to give the scenario, right? And I'm just going to give the scenario. We go to like a bank and we're waiting for the drive-through teller for like half an hour, and we get really upset because we have places that we want to go, things we want to do, right? We have we go to Timmy Ho Ho's and we're waiting for our coffee and they get the coffee wrong. We get really upset. We go to work and we have some person in the cubicle next to us that talks way too loud on the phone, and we get really annoyed. And we get home and our kids are really loud and they won't listen to anything. There is a version of reality where none of those things exist for you. There is a version of reality where you don't get to go to Timmy Ho Ho's and you don't get to sit at a teller and you don't get kids, right? Sometimes we don't understand how the things that annoy us in our everyday life are actually the things that we would dearly miss if we lived in a world where they weren't present. So I don't know who needed that, but that message came through for you. Okay, here we have the Four of Swords, and then we have the Ten of Cups. So this is really putting something to rest in order to gain our happiness. This is all about vibration. This is all about the things that we choose to focus on and how we allow those things to affect us in our everyday. And this is in no way a message that's coming through from these guides to say you're doing this wrong and you're messing up and you're doing all these things. It's advice and like a nudge to get somebody to the next place, because it seems like we've really been struggling with something, whether that's something that we want in our lives that just isn't appearing, or if it's something in our lives that we just don't feel like good things happen to us. It's almost like this, hey, it's available for you. It's available for you, but there's something in here that's burning like a second little flame that's kind of sabotaging all of this, and it doesn't have to be there. It doesn't have to be there. When we can identify that thing and isolate that thing, then we can do great things for ourselves. So that's the energy that's coming through here. I want one card. I want to get to the bottom of this vibration. What's one card that could solidify the energy of this vibration for the collective, please? Okay. Okay, this is the Page of Wands. Page of Wands represents that inner child that is passionate here, can't control their emotions, right? It's got that fire, that flame. And our subconscious here, our shadow, is kind of full of energy and full of this fire. It needs soothed in some way. The message is coming through with that. For this to be the energy that is actually causing all of this, someone has to learn how to mother and temper that energy. So for example, when you notice that you feel a way about something and you want to react in a really angry sort of way, that anger is beneficial. I'm not saying that anger is wrong, right? Everything in its time and place. But in an inappropriate situation, what we want to do is we want to take that energy back and we want to say, I'm acting this way out of, and then whatever it is. Is it fear? Do you feel threatened? Do you feel like someone touched an insecurity? Do you feel, really identifying those spaces and then allowing your adult self to mother the inner child that is reacting? So this is where we start self-soothing. We learn how to say, no, I'm safe right now. It's okay. I got this. This doesn't actually affect me. Someone here might benefit from getting into that habit of understanding that sometimes what's in control is not necessarily their adult self. What's in control here is the child. And like all children, they need a firm mother. They need a firm father. So whether that's stepping into a protective role for yourself and not staying in that role consistently, because that is our self trying to self-protect and self-preserve and keep things away, but understanding how to mature that energy so that now we're operating out of that energy in a very mature way. For someone here, this can be even like, I feel threatened by this, threatened by different people's political views, threatened by different people's religious understandings or what they're saying about my spirituality, right? When these things bother us, this is really us needing to say, it's okay, I'm safe, I am protected, this is okay. They don't have to agree with me. They don't have to believe everything I believe. They can believe things that I don't agree with, but I don't have to let that ruin my vibration, right? Because I'm allowed to be the adult, protecting and mothering that aspect of myself that feels threatened, that feels in danger, that feels like I need everyone else to get in line and control things, right? Someone here, this is a vibration that you're coming into, is to understand that you can accept things as they are, as long as they're not harming you. Obviously you need to stand up for yourself in certain situations, right? But if it's not something that is harming you in this moment directly, then it's not harming you. And you are allowed to allow things to be what they are, and you're allowed to feel safe and sovereign and protected. And this is what somebody is learning how to do. Once you learn how to do this, you have one eye open, one eye closed, one eye examining the external reality, one eye navigating the internal realm. And this is the alignment that is required to get what you desire to manifest. This is part of this energy here, the productivity and the creator. So if these types of things are things that are part of your life lesson, and that this is a path that you're on, is trying to balance yourself and come into alignment. If you understand that there are things that you are trying to call in, I definitely suggest that you take a look at, or at least consider, the manifestation class that I offered. It's the manifestation core principles. We cut out all the fluff and the nonsense that everyone's kind of added into it, and we just get down to the basics of it. The nonsense is great for later on when we understand the core principles. I use nonsense all the time. It's a great thing. But for the purposes of really understanding our own vibration and how it's reacting outside of us, getting back to the core of things is very important. So definitely check that out if you're interested. This reading is interesting and it's very intense. I don't think that the message is going to resonate for everybody who is actually going through this, because some of it's not going to make sense until you get to a certain point and you're able to see what's taking place. This can be a very confusing sort of sea to navigate. And so whoever this message is for, I do wish you the best of luck. You do have some guides that are really supporting you and protecting you and trying to guide you at this time. There are very few times in our life where I personally feel that our guides are guiding us, but this is a journey that they do seem to actually take our hand a little bit more. And the reason why is because we as people in our culture, in our civilization, we live in a way that this is the exact opposite of how we view our paradigm. And just like I say in my manifestation classes, our paradigm unfortunately is wrong. If our paradigm wasn't wrong, we would be able to manifest things like this. The reason why we have a wrong paradigm is because it starts off in our infant years being built up through time, and an infant is not able to understand the world around it and exactly what's going on. An infant thinks, my mom left my poopy diapers on, she doesn't love me, right? Even if it's been 5 minutes, the mom's just like going to run and get her bag. This is what I mean. We have a whole paradigm that's built up on false narratives from the time that we're very little. And so in order to step into a new paradigm, it takes a drastic shift of mind. And this doesn't happen overnight. It happens over years. And so for some of you, it might be a year if it happens very quickly. For some of you, if you're a little more stubborn about it, it might take 10. Right? But this is an energy that someone is being navigated through right now. And it doesn't mean your life is on hold while you're going through this. But this is definitely the underlying lesson. And someone's spirit guides within this collective, this is, again, a collective of guides. They're coming through trying to give this message to someone now. So whoever you are, I wish you the best of luck with this and with navigating this energy. Again, I definitely do recommend checking out the Manifestation Core Principles class if you're interested. And yes, I'm going to leave this here. So if it resonated for you, please hit that like button. And until next time.